All right, thanks, Carly. All right, and good afternoon, everyone, or depending where you are, good morning, or even good evening. I'm Brian Medoli. I'm the executive director for the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency. I'm joined by Carly Kramer from our office and Mark Dillon as well. We appreciate you all getting together today in response to our RFP for an environmental management dashboard. Effectively, today's session is really just an open Q&A, just to clarify any points or questions you may have in regards to the procurement that we issued, tell you a little bit about the project, and then we'll just have an opportunity for you to ask any questions. So to start with the project, our office is in the process of doing a sustainability and resilience plan for the city of Norwalk. This is a 9-month planning initiative, a 9 to 12-month planning initiative that we've been working on. And we're going to be expecting a lot of data gathering, a lot of different outcomes, and also need to sort of monitor key performance metrics related to sustainability, things like GHG inventories, and other things that are identified as pertinent as part of the planning. Concurrent to that, we're also doing the development of a Brownfields inventory, an actual application to help display environmental, regulatory data and documents related to brownfield status in a GIS-based platform. And what we're looking to do is basically put together effectively an online web viewer to kind of bring both of the efforts together, offering an opportunity for residents to take a look at our current progress from an environmental perspective, on indicators that will identify either through the sustainability plan or through this engagement in the market research we sort of outlined in the tasks, and then also being able to access the GIS repository for brownfield data and the like. So we're pretty open in terms of approaches to this. There were a number of suggested requirements as included as part of that. Definitely we're going to be scoring in relation to those, but we're open to other options, other things that you may have that may be outside the realm of open source, that may be outside the realm of different ISO things. But that was the direction we provided. But definitely want to rely on you all. Do you think there's a better way to do things, or you think that there's an interesting way we could approach this project? We definitely want to see that in your proposals. But we'll definitely be scoring it in line with what is our sort of preferences in terms of the open source format, particularly. So that's the high level of it. And really today, as I said, is really just to open it up for any questions you may have as you develop your proposal. So I'll kick it over to you. If you guys want to raise your hand, I could call on you. It'll probably be the easiest way to manage this. Yes, Doreen.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity for questions. I have a question about the disadvantaged business enterprise requirement. Is that a preference and an encouragement, or is that a requirement of the firm to even apply for this?
It's an encouragement.
Okay, thank you.
Andy?
Yes, thank you. Andy Bone off Black River Analytics. Just curious, have the brownfields already been collected, the locations for the brownfield developments, or will data collection also be a part of this RFP?
Yes, those will be collected by our other vendor. So that'll all be provided.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Doreen?
And just a follow-up question to that, are they going to be, or is the desired outcome for the brownfields to be displayed as points or polygons, or both geographically in the viewer?
Yeah, I envision them as a point layer with connections to a document management system. That's the idea, so that a person interested, they could click on the point or polygon. I mean, it's really not going to matter however you reference it, but typically I find points a little bit more easy to work with. And then they'll go to like a laserfiche or a microfiche system that we'll pay for on the back end. But this is more of the front end interface that we're trying to develop. Leah?
Hi, my name is Leah, and I have a very practical question. The question is, we're based in Germany. We're a German-based company. We're quite interested in the RFP that you issued. And we're already registered with the state of Connecticut as a foreign company, as a foreign LLC. The question would be, is that sufficient to participate in this RFP?
Yeah, I believe so. I could verify though with our funding partners to confirm, but I'm pretty sure yes, but we'll issue that answer in the addendum, but I appreciate the question.
That would be fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Yep, no problem. Mike.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for the opportunity and description around what you're looking for. You were mentioning in your description about access to data and providing that. Can you talk a little bit more around the expectations around data access and what that looks like from your vision?
Yeah, so I think it'd be much more from a public viewing perspective, it'd be much more generalized data. So say, for instance, we have a GHG inventory and a projection would kind of just show the static point in time where we're at, or how much, whatever the output is of a certain energy indicator. So nothing in terms of like mining data or anything heavy data intensive like that as part of this interface. Obviously, we'll have that in the back end, but this is more of like a commercial sort of, basic level viewer of information. We're gonna have to figure out what those parameters specifically are as part of this engagement, but that is what I'm envisioning.
Got it. Okay. So it's more about the data through the application as opposed to providing raw data and things like that.
Exactly. I think it's more of a performance monitoring tool than any sort of analytic tool.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Andy, do you have another question?
I do. Thank you very much. A question as it relates to the open source that you have mentioned a few times. I was curious, do you currently have a GIS system that you utilize as a public facing system? And also, do you use ESRI products, ESRI products right now?
Yeah, so the city of Norwalk has a GIS based web viewer. And I don't, it is obviously, I think it was HTML5. I'm not sure what it's, or no, it's actually a Java viewer, I believe. But yeah, the city does use GIS. That said, we don't need to be completely consistent. We're open to other options to demonstrate different functionality. One of the other ones I've used before is GeoCortex, which we found was pretty helpful for the more technical things in terms of widget development. But what we really want is something that we could edit, something that's pliable, something that's not going to box us into long-term service contracts in a lot of ways in terms of, having to rebuild things. Just want to make sure that we have options moving forward.
Thank you.
Nope. Doreen, you have another question?
I do. I have a follow-up to Mike's and something that you mentioned that I'd appreciate if you could just expound upon a little bit more. For the brownfields, you mentioned Laserfish. Sounds like that's your system of record for the table or the attributes that would be tied to the GIS data. Are you looking to have a direct feed to that to populate any attributes on pop-ups or any of the indicators, or would an ETL work? And also, how often is that data in Laserfish updated?
Yeah, so and Laserfish, I just mentioned by name. I mean, it's any document management system. We still haven't fully developed that. But the idea is that you could connect there, but typically it's just a link in the attribute table.
Okay.
To get to the external system. So I think it's more just creating an API that could get us to there as opposed to developing anything in an application.
Okay. So, and it's a document repository, so it'd most likely be a link to a document, not looking to populate attributes. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Doreen. Oh, sorry. Did you just ask the question? Leah.
I'm good.
Thanks. I would actually like to also ask you a bit more towards the brownfield viewer issue. Basically, what's not entirely clear for us is how you're going to envision the integration of the brownfield viewer in the SDG or in the environmental dashboard that you're planning. Could you maybe elaborate a bit more about, on your vision for that in the future, or is that something that should be discussed as part of the project as well?
Yeah, I think it's going to be discussed as part of the project once we get the outcomes from our other consultants' work. But I don't envision them all needing to be in like one screen all at the same time. It could be something that we could toggle between, or just for advanced functionality. If you're interested in brownfields, it could open up to a separate page of that sort. But it'd definitely be part of framing that as part of this engagement, the specifics. Any other questions out there? Yes, Leah.
If there's nobody else, I'll just grab the opportunity for
Go
another
for
question
it.
around practical issues. I noticed that you were giving out points for different aspects of the proposal. And I was just wondering, with regards to the practical examples, what exactly do we expect there? A certain number, or do you really look at, well, the specific sort of relation to the topic? So basically, my question would be, what enables us to get the full points for the practical examples? If you could elaborate on that a bit more, that would be fantastic.
Oh, on the specific practical example section?
Yeah.
I think it's just demonstrating experience in related of applications of the kind of technology. So it's pretty general, that particular category. We just want to make sure that sort of the scale and quality of your examples is what we'll be mostly looking at, as opposed to it being directly related to the specific engagement, because this is somewhat of a unique application as well.
All right. So it doesn't really matter if it's 1, 2, or 5 examples, as
Correct.
long as it fits quite well. Okay. Thanks.
Allison.
Hello, can you speak a little more to your target audience for this output?
Yeah. So I think it's twofold. I think on the actual environmental dashboard, it's more of a public facing educational tool. So general public, also decision makers interested in sustainability, local leaders. So high level data points. On the brownfield side of things, it's obviously more technical information that's gonna be more focused towards environmental professionals and probably developers or people involved in regulatory aspects of brownfields. So I think it's twofold. So I think, that's kind of goes to probably developing 2 separate interfaces or 2 separate things to entertain both user group.
Thank you.
Anyone else out there? Feel free to ask multiple questions. This is the time. Allison, you still have your hand up? Are you good? Or does that answer your question? Oh, you're good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, very good. Well, so if there's anything else that comes up, please feel free to email it. I'll entertain one more round. If there's any last questions here. All right, hearing none, feel free to email us. I think Carly is the designated contact on the procurement, and we'll issue a final addenda in response to any questions we received in writing to date, as well as posting this session online, so you'll have access to the information. So yeah, let us know in the meantime. We look forward to your proposals. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a great day.